E3 has come and gone, and to say the least, this was a very good E3 from Nintendo. Not as good as other years like 2017, 2014, and 2013, but we did get more information on Luigi's Mansion 3, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and most importantly, the announcement of Banjo & Kazooie coming to Smash Bros, and a sequel to Breath of the Wild. On top of that, we later on got the news that Super Mario Maker 2 will indeed have online multiplayer with friends in an update. All of these announcements were great. Amazing, actually. But this E3 has taught me something extremely important. Something that not only shows Nintendo has changed, but shows the sheer importance of criticism and feedback. The three things that drove me to make this video were an interview about Luigi's Mansion 3, Super Mario Maker 2 adding online multiplayer and an update, and the National Dex controversy. In the Luigi's Mansion 3 interview, two of the things I found notable were that Next Level Games decided to go with the exploration-based gameplay of the first game, and they also saw the complaints about Dark Moon's ghosts looking generic, and that's why they added ghosts similar to the portrait ghosts from the first game. Essentially, the reason why Luigi's Mansion 3 is looking so great is because Next Level Games decided to keep the best aspects of Dark Moon, while also listening to the fans and the criticism of Dark Moon, in order to make the best possible Luigi's Mansion. And that's why Luigi's Mansion 3 is looking so great. This could potentially be the best Luigi's Mansion yet. And this is why feedback is so important. But the main topic of this video is about people who either try to attempt to silence criticism of a game, and or making any possible excuse to defend developers' poor decisions. Over the years, I've seen a lot of tweets like this. Here's one regarding the Super Mario Maker 2 controversy, and the way I see this is as an attempt to silence criticism and call gamers entitled for being upset about something that was actually a major problem. What if Apple announced the latest iPhone could only call people you don't know? Would people be entitled for complaining? I guess I'm entitled for wanting to call people I actually know. Whenever I see these tweets or videos of people saying gamers are entitled for disapproving of something or giving criticism, I'm not sure if they know what entitled actually means. Being entitled means believing oneself to be inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. Let's say it's Christmas and your uncle gave you a game, but because it wasn't the exact game you wanted, you throw a big Caillou temper tantrum and say, "How could you get me the Crash Team Racing? I wanted Mario Kart!" That right there is being entitled. But think of it this way. You paid $300 for a game system, and if you're anything like me, you bought it to play games. And whenever Nintendo does directs or announcements, they're promising more games are coming to the Switch, and as a consumer, you're going to want the highest quality product. And this goes for all developers too. You paid $300 for a system with the promise that you're going to get high quality games, and wanting the games to be the best they can be is not being entitled or not being a baby. And the only way developers can know how to improve a game is by giving feedback and criticism. Let's go back in time to the year 2016 and take a look what happens when developers don't listen to fan feedback, specifically Nintendo. Fans were screaming for Metroid Prime 4, and what did Nintendo give them? A spin-off of Metroid Prime on the 3DS that unfortunately was announced and released at the worst possible time, and guess what happened to it? It ended up being a commercial failure, selling less than 200,000 copies. And how about Star Fox Zero? Fans didn't want the game to have mandatory motion controls, but Nintendo didn't listen. Guess what happened? The game got a terrible reputation and is being thrown in bargain bins across the nation because no one wanted to buy it. The same can be said for games like Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, Chibi Robo Ziplash, and Paper Mario Color Splash. Fortunately, Nintendo has changed a lot since 2015 and 2016, but let's say they didn't. What would happen to them if they continued to ignore fan feedback and make games like Star Fox Zero and Chibi Robo Ziplash again? As we've seen with all those games, fans weren't happy about them and they didn't sell. All of them went on clearance because of this, and while that's good for the consumer, it's pretty bad for Nintendo. If they continued to go down this road, they could technically survive financially for a few more years, but a majority of people wouldn't buy the games because they're not what they want. Just look what happened to Atari. They didn't care about producing quality games and were willing to publish games like Pac-Man 2600 and E.T. And by doing that, they not only killed themselves, but they almost brought down the entire video game industry with them. A once prestigious name in gaming is now existent in name only. Dramatic, I know. But the point is, criticism and feedback aren't evil or mean things. It's what helps creators better themselves and their work while also making people who enjoy it happy too. It benefits everyone. When I see people trying to make excuses for things like not having the national dex in Sword and Shield and formerly no online multiplayer with friends in Mario Maker 2, I really don't understand the logic behind that. Unless you're a PR, there's really no reason to defend developers making poor decisions because at the end of the day, while some companies are friendlier than others, they only see you as a dollar sign and nothing more. That's not to say you can't enjoy games or products. I'm very passionate about Nintendo, and that's why I care so much whenever they do something stupid, and that's why I'll speak out about it. So to see something as terrible as not being able to have every Pokemon in a game that's literally about catching them all, fans should speak against it. And to see people making excuses like,
Who cares? People should move on from their Pokemon from 15 years ago and should start catching new ones instead.
makes no sense to me. Everyone has a favorite Pokemon, and not having the ability to use every Pokemon in the game is something people should speak out against. And speaking out could very well help the issue, and it could be fixed. Without feedback, we wouldn't have Nintendo patch online multiplayer with friends in Super Mario Maker 2. We wouldn't have Portrait Ghost in Luigi's Mansion 3. We wouldn't have Banjo-Kazooie in Smash Bros. Heck, I'd even go so far to say Super Mario Odyssey, Crash Insane Trilogy, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, and Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated wouldn't exist if it weren't for the fans wanting these games to be made. Feedback is important, and don't let anyone make you feel scared or embarrassed to speak up. You're not harassing Sakurai by wanting Waluigi to be in Smash Bros. I'm still heartbroken he isn't. You're not entitled for wanting online multiplayer with friends in Super Mario Maker 2. You're not a baby or entitled for being disappointed when Blizzard hyped up a new Diablo game only for it to be a cash grab mobile game. In the end, if there's something you'd want or don't approve from a developer, don't be afraid to speak up about it. There will be people who disagree with you, and that's perfectly okay. Not everyone's going to have the same opinion as you will, but don't let anyone make you feel that you're entitled or make you feel embarrassed for wanting to give criticism or wanting something from a developer. Because if it weren't for the fans, game developers wouldn't be making any money. I'm not against developers trying new things. In fact, I wish a lot of them took more risks. But there's a clear difference between trying new things and making bad decisions, and I think developers should be called out when they make bad decisions. Anyways, thanks for watching, and keep calm and da-da on.